all the things that have come into your life are because you were open to whatever it was that was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I was open to change. I was open to the decision to move across the country alone and not know anyone. I made that decision not because I knew in my gut it was the right one, but because I followed whatever path was put in front of me that I felt was going to be a good thing for me. Because you can see outcomes, right? If you're positive, you will see a good outcome in any situation. So if I was in a really toxic relationship, I was able to look at it and say, that was really good for me. I wouldn't appreciate what I have now if it wasn't for that. So if you're in something really bad, or if you're struggling to figure yourself out and you don't know how to start, just think about every outcome as something positive, even if it's bad, and just be open to change and opportunity.
You're listening to Power Femme Radio. This is a podcast where ladies come together and try to share their opinions and empower each other to be better women in society.
Did he just say try? You're listening to Power Femme, where women don't try, we do. Hey guys, you're listening to the Power Femme podcast, and today I'm interviewing Abby Neff, who's been a world traveling model for over 7 years, working for companies such as TooFaced Cosmetics, Billabong, Wrangler, Nike, and Hanes, just to name a few. In this episode, Abby talks about how she got to the point of making her dreams a reality when all odds were against her. We dive into how overcoming the rigid expectations of her industry played a role in her journey of growth and self-discovery. She says, how do you find and nurture your identity when your career asks that you play a role each and every day? Abby's evolution has allowed her to dedicate herself to becoming a student of her passions, health, wellness, and beauty. She hopes that in sharing all she has learned throughout her journey, she inspires people to find and nurture the best versions of themselves, and not just when the cameras are watching. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
I love when we hang out. I get this like little squirrely voice.
I know, it's because I'm just so excited to see you every single time.
All the time.
Well, happy freaking birthday.
Thank you. It was on Friday. Today is Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
So
and
it just happened.
By the time this comes out, it'll probably be a couple weeks from now, but how old are you?
Yeah, I am 27. 27, and I feel 27. I feel like exactly where I would want to be when I turn 27.
Wow. That's amazing that you can say that.
I know.
Are you where you thought you would be?
I didn't know. That mainly just comes from like being open to whatever happens, and I'll just be like, well, every year I'll hopefully feel great. I mean, I was partying my face off when I was like 21.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was 21 and 22. I was like, nice.
Yeah.
Leveling out, more mature. I know myself. And then by the time 23 turned around, I was like, I know who I am. And now I'm 27 and I'm like, I didn't get it.
Yeah, right?
So now I'm like, all right, I feel like I am actually getting it now.
So you feel like you're stepping into like who you really are and like owning all of that.
Yeah. It was a lot of learning.
Yeah. A lot of learning.
Which we'll go into.
In our 20s. Goodness gracious. So how was your birthday this year different from like previous birthdays?
It was so nice. Okay, so 26 was full of like newness, things that I'd never experienced before, like true love, finding like getting a dog, having all these like amazing, beautiful little things happen in my life. And then like my birthday was full of that reward of like learning all those new things that are just like, wow, look at my life and all these things that have come in from this year. So it was really nice to reflect on it. We went to, my boyfriend, my dog, and I, we went to Tahoe. I'm sorry, not Tahoe. We went to Tahoe last weekend for a wedding. We went to Utah and we saw the aspen trees. You were there like peak fall. It was so beautiful.
I love Utah.
I love it too. I have this new obsession with camping, and my boyfriend has a camper van, so we just kind of like park in the middle of the trees and just like lay under the stars and sleep in the back of the van, and it's pretty rogue. You don't shower for like 4 days. So
wow.
It's a very humbling
That's
experience. Hot. Yeah.
It's kind of hot.
Like when you're hot.
Right? Like you're in nature.
I love the van.
Josh has been trying to convince me to live in a van for a very long time. And anyways, the answer is no. The answer is no.
Right? Ideally, it sounds cool, but then you realize you're sleeping in a Walmart parking lot and you're like, where's the glamour? We slept in a dog park in Arizona.
Oh my God.
I know. I was like, I mean, it was the safest place outside of Valley of Fire. Yeah, in Arizona. It was like,
wow. do you have an intention for 27, like with your health goals? Or what's your intention? What's your goal?
Because 26 was so much newness and bringing in so much love and what I wanted, like releasing all these old energies that did not serve me. Like I let go of everything.
You let go of so much in the last year.
Oh my God, so much.
Can we just really quickly break up?
Yeah.
You moved.
Yeah. I moved into my first 1-bedroom apartment myself and furnished it all. And like, I made it so nice and like painted the whole thing. I made it my own. So new apartment, new boyfriend, new dog.
Tons of work.
Working. And that was amazing. Yeah, so much new. And learning who I was and amongst all things.
Your work took off in the last year. I remember, because we used to live in the marina together, and Abby and I would like just go on our long walks, and we would just talk about what we were trying to manifest and what we wanted to happen. And literally every time we would talk, you're like, oh my God, I booked this. Oh my God, I booked that. And it like literally took off. So do you think that had anything to do with you letting go of these things that maybe weren't for you?
Yeah, 100%. I was just kind of stuck in this not knowing of what I was doing or who I was, because I was kind of being lied to by the industry and some people in my life that I had to let go of that really transitioned me into knowing more of who I was and what I wanted. It wasn't until I listened to my deepest gut intuition of myself. And it was when I took a step back from everything. I had a couple moments with myself, like hiking. I would just take time. Right? Like, no, I'm not really honestly huge on meditating personally. I just can't really get into it. Yeah. But I do take time for myself. And that's my version of like recentering. And it really works for me. So with that, I was able to step back from my life, look at it and be like, in the next 5 years, what do I want out of what's happening right now? And I was working jobs, especially in the beginning of my career, that did not align with who I was. And my agents and the people were telling me what I should and should not do and who I should be. I should be skinnier. I should fit into this box of like the supermodel that's larger than life. And like, don't post yourself on social media because you don't want people to see you as who you really are. You actually want to be larger than life, quote unquote. And I was limited to what I could share and who I could be. And then obviously like life, personal, people, relationships that I had to let go of that were really holding me back and defining my truth in a way of like, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then you don't know who you are or if you're good enough or how to show up as yourself. And then by taking time for myself to reflect on what I was dealing with and feeling in my life, I was able to see what parts were holding me back because my gut knew it was wrong. And everything that it knew was wrong, I followed and listened to. And then that's what led me into making some of the hardest decisions, ending relationships, that 4.5 years. Like, it was a really long one. Yeah. And that was pivotal to knowing that that might be number one, what's weighing on me the most on a day-to-day, that I didn't realize was actually leading into so much more.
I noticed you had 2 Instagrams. You had your Abby Neff Instagram, which had like a ton of followers, which is your modeling account. And then you had your Align with Abby, which I feel like you were sharing a lot of more your personal brand and all of that. Yeah. So at what point did you like recognize, okay, I'm not being who I'm meant to be and who I want to be? And this is the thing that's stopping me or weighing me down. And like, how did you take these 2 versions of yourself and just make them into one?
Good question. That was so hard, and I'm still trying to navigate that. So my Abby Neff account was strictly modeling, the larger than life version of me, the version of me that, you know, more or less was what agency industry people thought that I should be. And I just couldn't be that anymore. I have too much of a personality, too much of positivity to share, and I wasn't able to even show my teeth and smile on my account because it just, you know, take it down, I don't like this photo of you kind of thing.
Oh my God.
So I had to just get out of it. And I have a good following, 126,000 followers on there, and that meant nothing to me. I was like, there's zero value. I'm not adding anything to anyone's life. My passion is to really just help positivity and influence people to shine.
Yeah.
And my account was probably rather making people feel more insecure than good, because I was just showing myself and my body and how hot I am. Not how I got there, not how I feel about that. It was never the inside of me. And that is what actually fuels me the most.
You actually give off like a really inspiring energy, and I think it transcends your pictures. But it's interesting that that can always be the narrative that goes on inside of our head of like, oh, I'm not good enough. It's that imposter syndrome, right? Because you're not in alignment with what your truth is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's Align with Abby was the brand that I started. And I was creating that to simply share everything and anything that I could that I thought was useful knowledge that I've gathered from my years of modeling, my makeup tricks, how to pose, how to eat healthy, how I work out, what I do to my skin, like anything, and just how I think about things and process my thoughts that get me to a point where I am now. And I put that on hold because I realized the reach on my other account was pretty strong, and that there's no reason for me anymore to divide my two lives. I am one person, and my brand is me, actually. Yes. And Align with Abby is just a subset of what Abby Neff is becoming more of. And transitioning between quote-unquote influencer Abby and model Abby is something I have to kind of tread lightly, because it doesn't feel like I can fully dive into one or the other without being too exposed one way. So I'm trying to just integrate, and it's being a slow process, but we'll get there.
That's beautiful. And I think it's great advice for anyone who's in their 20s, that discovering yourself and finding yourself is a process that is slow, and also like you start over again and again and again and again.
I didn't know starting Align with Abby would set me into like going back to where I started, but it didn't take away from anything. It only helped me narrow in on what am I doing? What is my audience? Because I hit start, I hit go, and I did it, and I started it. And that's kind of the part where you learn yourself and where you're going. Right. Otherwise you're just like, I don't know what to do. Where do I start?
Right. Because if you're just kind of like floating and you're not attached to your truth and like your authenticity and your intentions, it's like you're floating in this world of like, here's what's working for other people, and like, how can I try to do that? Not that you ever did that, but I feel like that's when you're not connected to your truth, you get lost in this like abyss of basic, of and average.
But then that lack of creativity happens so much, and you're like, I'm gonna be consistent, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You lose it. It's so hard to keep it. You're gonna ebb and flow. And I just continue to try and like work and balance everything that I can. But to bring this around full circle, I learned that I wasn't being my true self when I got my IUD out.
I was going to ask, so you got that out first, and then these things started happening?
I broke up with my ex. I started working more jobs. I became emotional, which was pretty sick, actually. I was afraid to feel, and I never knew how to define what I felt. Birth control, I had the IUD.
Which one? Mirena? I had that one too.
It was great. I didn't have a period for like 4 years.
Yeah, it was kind of nice.
It was great.
I had some weird, with Mirena.
Really?
Like, I got a period every day for like 6 months on it, and then it went away completely. And I felt,
in the very beginning.
Yeah, and I just I just wasn't okay with that. I don't know. And there were many other things too. I'm interested to hear. I definitely felt like there was a veil over my emotions. I remember feeling like for 6 months I just did not feel like myself.
And
like,
it did the opposite for me.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. So okay, how old were you when you first got on birth control?
Oh man, I don't know. Math. 4 years
Young?
ago.
Okay, 4 years ago, so you were 23.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of those things that I just didn't want a period anymore, and I needed birth control because that's just what you do.
Yeah.
You stay on birth control. I was on it when I was 16 and was like, what's the best option here?
Yeah.
And do you want periods or not? I said no. So Mirena was.
Wow.
And it was pretty incredible timing, honestly. Like, I got it out. And I got it out because I was like, well, my friends are talking about being aligned with the moon, and like, what's this all about? I'm not aligned. I don't know. I need to feel my truth.
Right.
I don't know what that is. I just want to know what it feels like.
Right.
What does my natural body want to feel like?
Yeah.
Who is she?
Yeah. So, and 3 years is a long time to not be attached to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I got it out, I was able to face myself and be like, whoa. What are all these crazy emotions that I actually feel? Like, instead of them just being, I can just kind of blow it off. When I got it out, I was like, so overwhelmed with how passionate I felt about the things that I was just whatever about before.
I remember you guys, Abby called me and she's like, Heidi, I'm about to get my period. I'm so excited.
Nobody said ever.
I was like, what is wrong with this girl?
I was, and it was great. And I still don't hate it because I'm just like, this is me. It's really great. So that was huge. I didn't know that little thing would be what drove me
to change everything.
Completely. I mean, I can say honestly that a lot of my money that I made this year probably had to have at some point aligned to that because of who I am now. So, and the decisions that I made due to me feeling my emotions. It all stemmed from there, which is kind of crazy now that I reflect on it.
Yeah, it's like this authentic, like shinier version of you. It's like there's more life inside of you, right? Mm-hmm. So do you think that has anything to do with how you show up in your work or when you're going to an audition or like a casting call? I'm not quite sure how it works with modeling.
Yeah,
obviously.
Castings and meetings. Not necessarily. At this point now, I'm just kind of like in tune with my emotions when I'm doing whatever. So I kind of I work out when I'm supposed to. I chill when I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
I'm moody when I'm supposed to. My boyfriend's patient with me all the time.
Cute. The key is to find a man who understands your period.
So in my relationship, he said to me when I got my IUD out, he's like, if you're going to be an emotional female, I don't want to be with you. And that was like, I was floored. I couldn't even, I will never, ever, ever forget that. And it just like, bye, right?
Bye. Canceled.
And
you're canceled.
It was so fast after that, like probably a week or two that I'd actually been like, all right, let's make some steps.
I think it has to be a personal decision. Do your research, talk to your friends, make your own decision. I would love to know, what are some of your like best tips for beauty?
Okay, so I guess number one is to think about yourself when you order clothes and when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, does this look good on me? I don't know. How do I make this better? There's some things that you look at yourself in and think, I don't look as good as the girl on the internet did.
Oh my God, yeah.
But
always.
The thing is that it might look better on her body type. It's not you. It's the type of clothing. So it's like, what rise of gene looks better on your proportion? So take a photo of yourself, like set it up on a tripod, stand back, take a photo of it before you say, I hate it, and throw it out. Like, figure out why you don't like it. What is it about the piece that makes it not good? Is it the ankle is too wide? Do you need something thinner to like make you look longer? Sometimes what I know about my body is that I have broader shoulders, so I need to wear thinner straps that also come in and kind of cover up this like armpit area. So there's certain things, thick straps make you look thicker.
Okay.
Thick like bathing suits make you look bigger. Like, wow. Some people want to cover up their bodies, but the tiniest little things actually make a huge difference.
Oh, totally.
Actually, recently I started following more and more street style type Instagrams that are based on like what celebrities are wearing and like played down runway stuff. It's like up and coming trends so that you can feel comfortable in the clothes that you already have and then just amp them up with like a colored bag. I know that for fall it's cute. Pastels and flannels are actually in. Coming back. And the Chelsea low boot is not in. It's like the over the knee tall high boot is in. Like those little pleated skirts.
Oh, I love the fall because it always brings back the 70s.
It's so fun. I'm having a lot of fun learning about it, but that's kind of the clothing aspect. I'll do makeup maybe.
Yeah, let's do makeup.
So I've learned the color wheel for your skin tone. So knowing what undertone you have in your skin is really important. You're more pink, I'm more yellow. And that's kind of like the scale of foundations that you would buy. Finding something that goes under your makeup, glow screen, super goop, fire to go under your makeup because then it primes your skin really well and it makes it glow. I look better with rosy pinks and like a lot of blush and the eyeshadow to be more pink to match my cheeks. Yep. Because of my blue eyes and fair skin. It just accentuates everything so much better. So do some research, look at like your hair color with your undertone and then see what colors look best on you. It might be taupes or browns or something, but you might have been wearing like gold. Right. So it's just good to know those things because after getting my hair and makeup done, I could not tell you how many times in my professional years of 7 years of getting it done.
Right.
I know what works.
Right.
So
I know you really do, Abby. You have like the best style. Your makeup
Thanks.
always looks amazing.
I get to trial with all the brands.
Right.
I've tried on how many wedding dresses. Like if I ever got married, I know exactly what I would wear because I know I've tried them all on.
Right.
And like if I online shop, I just know based off of, oh, this is a good thing for everyone actually. Based off of a model size, you know when you go on the sizing chart and it says what size the model is wearing? Mm-hmm. If you know your size based off of like a small, which is usually the average model size, you can figure out if you need to size up or down. Because sometimes the model is wearing an extra small, but she's actually just like the size small, so you know to size down.
Okay, got it. That's
If
brilliant.
that made sense.
I never look at the size chart like when I'm
That's the only way I know
shopping.
what size I am is well, because I model, I am that size, but so it's easier. But if you can gauge, if you're maybe a little bit bigger than them, you can figure out or smaller.
What's your favorite like online brand to shop from? Because I hate online shopping.
I love online shopping.
Yeah, you always find
because
stuff.
I can see it styled. I'm not good at styling myself. I have an outfit that matches for a reason. Like I don't want to think about what goes with what. Like set it up for me.
Yeah.
I buy sets a lot. Quality, price point, Princess Polly. Have you shopped from them?
I have no. Okay, I've borrowed things from my friends who Princess Polly all day long. But I've never actually bought anything from there.
Yeah.
I'll check them out.
I will say my stylist is like, you got to cut it with the Princess Polly stuff.
Yeah.
Because like it's basically my entire closet.
Yeah.
But I like to buy things that are on trend, in style, good quality, good price point, and then be able to turn over more and have like a few staple pieces.
Mm-hmm. You do have good staple pieces. You've always got really nice jewelry.
A blazer,
or
a
like
good blazer.
Yeah.
Anita Bing. Mm-hmm. Great
Anita
basics.
Bing.
Yep. Great basics. Like more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't need expensive of everything.
Right.
Everything underneath of the jacket can be Forever 21 if
What
you
a
know how to
great
style it.
hack. Yeah.
You just don't need to do that. I used to spend so much money. Get yourself a cute bag. Go get yourself some cute shoes from Zara or from some sneakers. Bandier has really cute trendy ones. And then just like a bodysuit. Skims is great for that kind of stuff.
Oh my God, I'm wearing Skims right now, guys.
I know you are.
Bandeau bras just never work for me.
They don't.
The Skims one works.
Yeah. I've recently learned that the corset vibe with like the underwire bra for my boob size, which is 34B, is just very flattering.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that on me. The longer torso with the low-rise jeans.
Yes, it's so
You can't
low-rise
wear that.
jeans are back.
You can't wear that top with high-rise, and you can't wear those pants with like super crop top if you're unless you're like super confident with your stomach, which I don't want to like go get drinks and have dinner and be wearing that. I'd rather not.
Right.
I just wanna
Comfort over that.
Yeah, I just want to be a little more covered.
What are some trends that are coming back that you're like shocked about and hate, or shocked about and love?
Velour sets.
Velour sets. Paris Hilton. Okay, you guys, Abby, if you are not Paris Hilton for Halloween,
oh my God,
you have to be Paris Hilton.
Okay, let's back up.
Okay.
I just did a shoot for Juicy Couture, and they basically had me dress up like I was Elle Woods, Paris Hilton, you name it. I was her, and I was in the full-blown Juicy set, and I was like, this is a vibe.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
Like, if you do it all up with the cute little kitten heels and the bracelet and stuff, you're kind of like, rather than, oh my God, she's so annoying, you're like, who is that? That's cool.
Right. Right. Yes.
So, like, the more you dress up the vibe, I love becoming characters. Mm-hmm. My stylist says this, and it was the best advice ever. She said, anytime I go to a restaurant, I look at the atmosphere, and then I think, oh, wow, it reminds me of Paris. What would I wear in a day in Paris? So she's, like, always traveling. She's like, I'm going to Tulum today, and she's going to a coffee shop that's, like, Tulum vibe, but she allows herself to like dress up as different people or going different places. And I think that's so fun.
That is so
way to, like,
fun.
Look at your closet and dissect it and be like, oh, this piece for here, for there.
Right.
Versus
oh my God.
like, I'm the same bitch every day.
Yeah, exactly. I know. And you know what? During the pandemic, I was a fitness coach. So like I would just wear Lululemon every day.
And you know what she taught me? How to make that like from
cute
workout to throw some high top or high boots with that and a blazer over it with some cute sunnies and a bag. you're ready and
Instantly
you're
you're a
still
model.
wearing your Lulus.
Yeah.
You can like dress up basics.
That's amazing.
Or you can put jeans, oversized jeans over top of your leggings and let the color of the top show through.
Cute.
Of the bottom. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally.
Layers.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like and when I dress up too, like I've stepped up my game, guys. Okay. Like I've been doing my hair. I actually went to Abby's makeup artist. She came and she like did a whole consultation with me, showed me how to do my makeup. Izzy is amazing.
My makeup Bible. She's so good.
Yeah,
That's
follow her on Instagram, My Makeup Bible. She's amazing. Guys, I can't recommend going to like get your makeup done or like go and like work with a stylist at least once. Maybe that sounds like a luxury that like you're like, oh, I can't afford that or I can't do that. It is such a nice treat. Like maybe just for your birthday or for like maybe just like don't go out for a weekend and like spend money on like food and drinks, whatever, and like instead invest in like understanding and becoming and like feeling into your higher self. How would your higher self dress? How would your higher self wear her hair and her makeup every day? You know what I mean? And that has really helped my mental health. Yeah.
You're waking up super early and you're having tell us about your morning.
Once I work out, it's like it's only 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna be sweaty all day and gross. So I just take a shower, I do my makeup, I put on a cute outfit, and even if I have nowhere to go, I like literally just go outside. I'm like, someone will see me.
You can show up more.
Yeah, you do.
For yourself.
You absolutely.
You want to do better for yourself in the day.
Absolutely. You're way more confident. You want to be seen. You want to engage. You're a little bit more turned on. And
yeah, these are all things that I talk about in a line too, because or I guess on my Abby Neff page now.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say you need makeup or you have to dress up or be fancy all the time to feel good. It's just, what do you need to do individually to feel like your most maximum self? What do you need to do throughout the day to make it happen?
What do you feel like those things are for you?
For me, whenever I'm lazy and I don't work out first thing in the morning, not first thing, but I have my morning. I take my time. I'm slow. I like to cuddle with my dog. It depends. I'm working a lot throughout the weeks and times just kind of like fluctuate, but I like to be out of bed by 7:30.
Yeah.
And then I like to start my morning and my workout by like, it range 8:30 to 10:45, depends on the class usually. And if I just do a beach run, something like
we love ClassPass.
We love ClassPass. We love it. I have a love-hate relationship with it. They need to give me more credits for what I pay. But
yes,
I do really enjoy the variety of the workouts, and that's kind of the number one thing for me. And I like to do Pilates, yoga, hot yoga, regular yoga. I have options on ClassPass, and then I can do a beach run or walk a ton of steps one day. I really do like to switch it up. Kira Stokes' app. Oh my God, I have to talk about that.
Talk about Kira Stokes. You love that girl.
Okay, Kira Stokes. I love Kira Stokes. Let's give her a second. Okay. So I have been doing her workouts since the pandemic, and she's what changed my body so much. I love her app. It's like, I don't know, $15 a month. I haven't had a gym membership in over 3 years because I used to do heavy lifting, hard workouts when I was younger, and then I realized that my body doesn't like that.
Yeah.
And that was another, like, growing up and figuring myself out. And her workouts, I can do like 5 minutes of abs, 15 minutes of booty bands, and then I can like jump over and do another like clip that's 10 minutes, and then before you know it, you have almost a half hour, or you can do her hour clips. So I like the variety that I can get with her, and I can pick which part of my body I want to work at, and I don't have to commit to an entire 45-minute or an hour workout and then just hate myself 10 minutes in thinking how much time I have left, which is another reason why I like classes, because otherwise I would probably just, give it 30 minutes and call it quits.
I actually do have a question from a listener, and I thought you'd be the perfect person to ask.
Great.
And I'd love to riff on this too, because I have thoughts. She wants to know how you can have more confidence to work out.
Wow. Yeah. Finding cute outfits.
That helps. I swear to God, that helps.
Find outfits that look good on you. And don't be afraid to size up in your workout clothes. Like, I've realized that my sports bras are so tight around my core that it makes my skin look like it's fat and bulging. So if you size up, it actually just looks way better.
Yeah.
And then you're like less restricted and less uncomfortable. I have to change my clothes so much for work that the last thing I want to do is put on my workout outfit. So that is the second thing also, is to put it on first thing. So you don't have to keep changing from your comfy clothes to like something uncomfortable to like go work out. Like cut the little things that stop you from doing it.
Right.
Is it having a big breakfast? Maybe you have a snack and then wait for your big breakfast later.
Right.
Do you have a family and kids and things that you have to attend to? Well, I mean, attend to those things, but then attend to yourself too.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, remembering, I journal every day, and at the end of the day, I can sometimes write down like what I didn't do that I wish I would have done, and how many times have I written that I wish I would have worked out, and how much better it feels to have worked out. So I always remember that when I'm debating whether I want to do it or not. It's just like, do it.
Yeah.
Because you will feel more confident with the day.
Yeah.
When you reflect back as to what you did for yourself. If you don't do anything for yourself during the day, you're not going to be confident with the results that you had.
Right. I feel like you have to do one small thing for yourself every single day.
Every day.
Even you know, it's easier for us because we don't have kids. I just feel like so much goes into gaining more confidence and being healthier that doesn't necessarily involve working out, you know?
Right. No, it doesn't. Because some days I feel really good and I didn't work out. What did I do? Well, I was with all my friends. I enjoyed myself. I lived my life. I had a new experience. I went to a new place. Whatever it is, it's just find those little joys and like turn them into the most positive thing that happened to you that day that translates to everyone else in your life. Because otherwise, if you just kind of submit all these little things that are good and dwell on the bad, you never see your days as great. And then what are you doing?
Right.
And then you kind of question yourself, and then you start to wonder if you're actually happy, and then at some point
you fall into this all or nothing mindset. I feel like it doesn't have to be like that. Like
it doesn't. Sometimes when I look the best, I feel the worst inside because of whatever I was doing, whatever I ate, whatever I was like fixating my mind on. So if it was the dessert that I had last night, I fixate on that, and then I believe that I don't look good. I do this thing. I went through this phase. Listen to me. I was putting a tape measure around my waist every day, and that was my addiction, to see if I like gained an inch or lost an inch.
Yeah, wow.
So that was like a huge thing to overcome, to not take that tape measure and put it around my waist.
Wow.
To see.
When did you start doing that?
Oh, I did it for years. It was years. I probably stopped 4 years ago.
Wow.
I was still with my ex when I was doing it. But I mean, at what point do you just stop fixating on that little thing?
Right.
And then I would take photos, and I still do this actually. I take photos of myself in a bathing suit to see how much different I look, even when I feel my absolute worst. And I scroll back through my photos from year after year, after time, and like, oh yeah, I remember feeling like so fat and gross in this and so awful here, that I look at the photos and I always look the same.
Yeah, it's 100% your mind.
I thought I was so overweight and so gross. It's not that though. It's how you feel. Right. So just do whatever you need to do to feel good.
You know, when I was going through like a super depressive phase, like that was literally like, oh, like I'm just not going to work out today, you know? And that's okay. I had to build that trust with myself of listening to my body, and that alone built confidence. Yeah. I'm glad to hear that you've overcome the tape measurer and all of that. Did you know that? No, I had no idea. But I'm not surprised, Abby, because of the industry that you're in. Yeah.
I was told I had to be at 24 waist, and I was naturally like 25 and a half. So I would fight that.
So it's literally like an inch and a half.
I would fight that so hard to like fit into this perfect thing that I was supposed to be. Wow. And then when I fit into the perfect thing I was supposed to be, I would go to set and they would tell me I didn't fit the clothes, I was too small. So then I would be like so confused. It's so confusing.
Yeah. That's got to be so hard. Do you think that the modeling industry should be held responsible for the standards that are being set today, especially in an age of like social media and, you know, girls getting procedures done at ages younger than ever before?
Yeah, I think that social media has way more of an influence than modeling, especially now. When it was hot, I was young to see like all the mega supermodels making such an influence on the way people were dressing and what they were doing. But now it's really scary to see everyone just changing themselves to fit this quota of social media and what you have to do. But It's forever going to change.
Yeah.
And we're always going to be molding into that. And it's so hard when you're trying to figure yourself out in your own brand to not see those things and then to figure out how you can subscribe or like where you are without knowing yourself or what you want out of it. So you kind of just have to like test all the waters and like see what works better for you, what attracts more from your people. Rather than being the supermodel, super skinny, lean model, I am now subscribing to be who I am, which is working Billabong and like cool surf brands and like working with my square torso and finding people that understand my aesthetic, I guess. My vibe is more chilled and relaxed, less glam. It's just, you kind of have to figure out who you are and navigate it.
Yeah. Well, in an Instagram video, you once said, the things I hated most about myself became the parts I used as my strengths.
Exactly.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to fit into this box of the modeling, and then I just turned into being what I was naturally. So, like I said, the surf brands and the Billabongs. It wasn't until, I would say, 7 years of modeling, I would say the last 2 years that I actually started to understand myself and be accepted for who I was, because people in my life were being attracted to me just based off of what energy I was putting out. So I was learning more of who I was, so then everything else was kind of falling into place. It's a lot of pressure when you're behind the camera and like 30 people are staring at you silently and kind of judging you, and just you're assuming the worst of, they don't like the shirt on me, they think I'm fat, or like all the insecurities come out in your mind, so you don't photograph well.
Right.
And then when you start to align with what you have and what your strengths are, mentally, physically, you can let those parts shine in those moments, and then you show up with confidence because you know yourself.
Yeah.
I walk into castings now and I'm like, you know what? Do you want your stuff to sell? I got you.
Right.
And it's not an arrogance. It's like a confidence. Like, I sell, people rehire me, and here's why.
Right.
I know how to operate, and I know how to make myself your brand. And that comes from first knowing who you are, and you can't do those things
unless
until
you know who you are.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I used to have to feel that I was fitting into this thing that wasn't me, which is the trial and error. You have to do it. Like,
Totally.
I'm telling you, I would never have known that I was missing those parts of me before. It took time. It took discovering it to know it wasn't
Right.
happening.
Well, I just want to speak to what you were just saying about being in front of, 30 people who maybe are judging you or whatever. And I feel like this is where you can really, our listeners can really just embody the confidence, okay?
Yeah.
It's your mindset. So like, if the moment you step in front of a camera or a crowd or your boss or whatever it is that you're, trying to do, your thoughts matter. You could be the skinniest girl and be thinking like, oh, like, they don't like this shirt on me. Or you could be literally like Lizzo and just embody confidence and say, yeah, and you'll have sold out arenas. You know what I mean? And so it really is just a mindset thing, I think.
Same shirt, different attitude.
Yeah. Same shirt, different attitude, like different subscription. I love it. Like and you said this too, like not subscribing to this thing that I'm supposed to be. I think as soon as you unsubscribe, you free yourself.
So true. Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly what I did.
Yeah. So with all of that being said, and understanding the climate we live in with social media and just the internet and everything, what advice would you give to someone who's trying to navigate their 20s? I feel like you had this like coming into who you are 2 years after 25. I feel like 25 is a magical year. Like once you enter your late 20s, you really do start to kind of embody, right? So what would you say to somebody who's nowhere near that right now and they're just trying to figure it out? It's a girl in her 20s in America or the world with social media.
You got to stay open. You're a very good example of this as well. Like, all the things that have come into your life are because you were open to whatever it was that was going to happen. I was open to change. I was open to the decision to move across the country alone and not know anyone. I made that decision not because I knew in my gut it was the right one, but because I followed whatever path was put in front of me that I felt was going to be a good thing for me. Because you can see outcomes, right? If you're positive, you will see a good outcome in any situation. So if I was in a really toxic relationship, I was able to look at it and say, that was really good for me. I wouldn't appreciate what I have now if it wasn't for that. So if you're in something really bad, or if you're struggling to figure yourself out and you don't know how to start, just think about every outcome as something positive, even if it's bad, and just be open to change and opportunity. Because there's so many things that you're going to say, overthink or ask friends, what's gonna be better for me? I don't know. I'm so unsure. I'm the most indecisive person in the world. I'm so indecisive, and I made these decisions purely on knowing that no matter what happened, it would be okay. And so in my 20s, I did that. I subconsciously kind of did that.
Yeah.
I don't actively think every day about, is this going to be a positive whatever.
Right.
But if you have in the back of your mind, like, this is going to be good for me, then you can navigate the world better. And you can just be clear on what you're doing is for the best.
Yeah. That's so good, Abby.
Thanks.
Oh, I love that. I've loved having you.
Thank
on
you.
the episode.
Heidi.
So good. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me. This was so fun. Girl talks.
Girl talks are the best. We'll definitely have you on again. Guys, I just want to say thank you so much for being a Power Femme listener. I love you so much. It means the world to me, especially having such a great friend on the show today. We love, love, love to hear from you. So with that being said, it would mean the world to us if you wrote a review, gave us 5 stars, wherever you listen to podcasts. This is the most supportive thing you can do for us. Please do leave your questions in your reviews, or feel free to shoot either one of us a question if you want to be featured on the podcast. And that's all for now. I love you, and have a special day.